Before we get into the PAMLICO project, a brief history of Newrange Gold. We incorporated as Columbia Mines Corporation in 2006, finished an IPO in 2008, and we're focused on exploring a portfolio of precious metal projects in Colombia, South America, until 2014. Today we still hold two of those. One is the Ramalito Gold Porphyry, the other is the El Dobio gold-rich polymetallic system. In 2015, to leverage our expertise against the very depressed resource market, we started looking for assets in other favorable jurisdictions, including Nevada, and identified the PAMLICO project. We signed the property in July of 2016 and started work on the property as Columbia Mines Corporation. Then in December of 2016, changed the company's name to Newrange Gold. Today we have 74 million shares issued and outstanding and have never consolidated the company's stock. We're currently trading between 30 and 37 cents. And PAMLICO rapidly supplanted our Colombian assets as our flagship. PAMLICO today is about a 2,200 hectare property that sits in the northern portion of the Walker Lane in west central Nevada along the intersecting Pancake Range Lineament. The Pancake Range Lineament runs through it's a much lesser known structural lineament, runs through the giant Round Mountain mine that Kinross operates, on through PAMLICO, Borealis, and the Aurora District. There are many world-class mines within both of these lineaments. PAMLICO sits on trend with major mines containing many tens of millions of ounces of gold and over 500 million ounces of silver. The PAMLICO district was discovered about 1884, and our exploration has been focused on exploring for very high-grade but extremely fine-grained gold that was not even developed or explored by the early timers. Our work has resulted in the discovery of at least 6 new high-grade zones that we term the J, K, L, M, N, and O zones. We've tied mineralization that we found in sampling the large Merritt decline to the M zone. And very importantly, we've identified large zones of disseminated stockwork style mineralization with drill intercepts to 70 meters of 3.5 gram gold. You can see some of the higher grade intercepts that we have. There's a complete listing of our drill intercepts on the company's website. And individual 1.5 meter samples grading over 340 grams. Very importantly, we just completed 2 deep stratigraphic test holes. PAMLICO enjoys one of the deepest oxide horizons I've ever seen in the state of Nevada, with thorough oxidation extending to depths of over 200 meters. And it identified additional horizons of favorable host rocks at depth. So we have a much expanded exploration footprint vertically and horizontally at PAMLICO. This is a real quick stratigraphic column from those strat holes, and the mineralization is generally focused in the light green rocks. There represents intermediate chemistry volcanics, latites and rhyolite, or latite and andesite, sandwiched between more competent rhyolite rocks that focus the geologic stress into the latites, resulting in a lot of fracturing and stockwork veining. That's where the big intercepts come from. High grade is related to very high angle feeder structures. This is a simplified geologic map of the core drill area. You can see the darker red zones there are the very extremely high grade zones. To the bottom left is the J zone, which is actually one of the highest grade zones on the property, where we have individual drill intercepts to 340 grams a ton. You can see the Merritt decline entering the picture from the top left. That just got into the high grade when the Merritt family, because of a family illness, wound up having to sell the property, and we were in the right place at the right time. This image shows you the entire PAMLICO property. The east zone is dominated by carbonate platform sediments. The smaller area down to the lower left is the volcanic hosted mineralization we've been exploring I'm not sure if you can see that small red rectangle in the lower left center, but that's the entire area of the preceding map. In February, we're going to be drilling in the northern part of the east zone on some carbonate replacement mineralization in the Looning Formation and on a large gold skarn system. The volcanic mineralization is going to be explored subsequent to that. We're going to be exploring a zone that's about 1.5 kilometers to the south of our current drill area on some patented ground we just acquired. And we, later on in the year, will be drilling in what we call the pediment. That's that large yellow area. It's an area of very sparse outcrop where we have individual samples to 4 grams in a alluvial covered area. Be very exciting. It's a completely buried target there. These are, again, this is another table of some of the drill results. We have just literally pages and pages of these high-grade drill results. PAMLICO is very similar in many respects to the Round Mountain deposit. It's a large lithic, tough, fragmental volcanic rock, very receptive to mineralization, very porous, where we develop a large low-grade system that's cut by these extremely high-grade, structurally controlled mineralized zones. This is a very generalized section through the entire PAMLICO district. You can see a series of antithetic cross-cutting faults with mineralization. We believe the mineralization is distal to a large porphyry system. The volcanic-hosted mineralization is gold-dominated, commonly with a 10-to-1 gold-to-silver ratio. As we move into the sediments, we see very much elevated silver values, sometimes to 500 grams. We'll be exploring a lot of that in this year's drilling as we go forward. Going forward, our phase 3 drilling will start in February. We're going to be expanding the underground and surface mapping with the 4th phase of drilling planned for later in the year. And we're going to be conducting quite a bit of metallurgical test work to confirm my suspicions that we are going to enjoy very favorable metallurgy. We also are planning on driving large crosscuts through those high-grade zones for bulk sampling purposes. This summarizes the share structure, and in a nutshell, that's what we're looking at PAMLICO. Thank you.